Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today we're taking a look at from the Transformers 35th Anniversary line, which is a subset of the War for Cybertron Siege line. This is Bluestreak. And if you're wondering why Bluestreak looks silver and black, or really more of an off gray and black than blue, well, you got 35 years of history to go through. Obviously, the figure is a repaint of the Prowl mold, much like the original Bluestreak was, and the Datsun brothers all share that same mold. The difference is he does include an additional set of shoulder blasters. Let's go ahead and bring in Prowl right here, and yep, exactly the same. It's kind of interesting is on Prowl, I did not realize that those holes right there were for the pre-molds for the shoulder blasters. I just thought they were decorative or what have you, but basically it's the same figure. Obviously, you don't have that Cybertronian writing. You do have the translucent wheels, only on Bluestreak. They're in a more smoke gunmetal gray color. I also want to mention the front wheels don't roll as easy. The back is done up a little bit differently, whereas Prowl is obviously the police vehicle. Bluestreak is more of the recreational, mass retail vehicle. Now, between now and I think a month from now, we should be getting Generation Select's Smokescreen, which will be the third of the Datsun brothers, and that's the competitive sports car design. But there you go on all the sides. So you can see the color differences, and let's give you a top down. Whereas Prowl here has this clear plastic on the top. Bluestreak, and let me move the gun there for you, has a bit more of that smoked gray, gunmetal gray plastic. And of course, obviously Bluestreak doesn't come with the light bar. I guess the plastic amount between the light bar and the extra guns make up the difference, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So let's pause, and we'll go through the transformation of Bluestreak. Okay, transformation is very simple. What you want to do is go ahead and remove the gun and shoulder guns, however you have them positioned. We'll look at these a little bit more in a second. And to start off, you could come underneath and flip the arms straight up, and then flip them out to the side, just like so. And like Prowl, I should mention that the joints are very tight, so much like Red Alert and then G2 Sideswipe, there is no mold degradation. Then come in on the side here and pop these doors open. Again, on Prowl, they peg into two different spots right there. Come in the top here and flip that little chest piece out so it's facing forward like that. And go ahead and accordion. Well, you can accordion out that top piece, but also accordion out the legs. And then flip the foot section down. There are some tabs there that those heel pieces would peg into. Unpeg it, and then come underneath and flip out the heel supports. You can start fiddling now. Rotate it around at the waist. Bring this whole section down and back. Press that in. Fold it down and up, like so. Bring the chest piece up and over and down, and then it will the waist piece here will peg into that little cavity section. You have that little black piece right there in the back, and then rotate the arms up so these shoulders are, you want these gray shoulder pieces facing outward, like so, up and down. Or actually, you know what? You can have them facing up as well. That's probably a little bit easier. And there you have Bluestreak in its robot mode. Coming with the gun. The handgun is exactly the same as Prowl's. You can stick that in either hand. Now, the shoulder cannons can combine just like so, and there is a peg if you want to hold them in the hand, peg them into the top of the gun, or let's use those little tabs and slot them in right here for that classic G1-ish look. And there is Bluestreak in its robot mode. So, how about we pause for a moment, let me transform Prowl, and we'll do a comparison in robot mode. Okay, I did actually get the shoulders to the shoulder pads, I guess you can call them, to rotate down on Bluestreak. They are a little tight, and in fact, compared to Prowl, the joints on Bluestreak are a little bit tighter, which I like. Not to say that Prowl was overly loose, it's just that little hair touch tighter, which makes for a better figure. But here we are in robot mode. One thing I should mention is that the design work now on Bluestreak really covers, doesn't do that optical trick where you would think the front end here was much wider than it needed to be. That was one of the problems on Prowl that a lot of people didn't notice until they got it in hand, that his chest was not that wide. But you can see the difference in detailing. Prowl has more of those military police designs and insignias, and again, Bluestreak is the home car. It's the one you would go in the store and buy, and so it doesn't have all that extra detailing. But again, you get a little more red now with Bluestreak, whereas Prowl always had that black and white motif, and you don't have that Autobot logo there on the legs. Also, as I'm sure as you can already figure out, this is the Siege line, so the weapons are cross-compatible. So go ahead and, even though they really don't color match, Prowl can use the shoulder guns. I don't know why he didn't come with them, but we'll get into that a little bit more in my final thoughts. Let's give you a look at the back here. Obviously, the door wings and all that, the heels. And I'm swinging this around. You can see that Bluestreak was leaning back a little. That was me, not like looseness of the joints or anything. Unfortunately, if you remember with Prowl, when it comes to the waist down, the mold can be a little fiddly in terms of getting things straightened out and proportionate. You kind of almost want to do that superhero pose where you're pushing the pelvis forward and the chest back. But using the heels and the ankles, you can get things evened out. So, we'll pause, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. I definitely think Bluestreak is worth a pickup if you're interested in completing the Datsun Car Brother trio. Now, how do you get Bluestreak? Well, the 35th anniversary line is exclusive to Walmart's, and right after Toy Fair of this year, the line went up for pre-order on Walmart.com. Sort of this whole retailer unity push that Hasbro was doing. But I got this figure off of Toy Jojo, and I think I got an international version since I got an extra sticker on the box and a sheet in the instructions with a bunch of different warnings in different languages. So if you really want to get your hands on this figure now, head on over to Toy Dojo, and you're going to pay roughly retail cost. Now, a little bit of a rant here. As you can see, Bluestreak does come with its shoulder cannons and costs the same price as Prowl. Smokescreen is coming with the shoulder cannons and a handgun, and I think it's going to go roughly the same price as a Siege Deluxe. It depends on where you're getting that from, since it is a Selects figure. Barricade, who's also going to use this mold and be a mainline figure, is only going to come with the shoulder cannons and no handgun. I don't see that. I don't see the value. I don't see the cost. Yes, Prowl technically really never used the shoulder guns, but I still think it would have been nice for it to come with the shoulder guns. The light bar, really, I don't see the trade-off in plastic cost there. And I think would have added a little bit more in terms of the combat system crossplay to Prowl. And Barricade, there's no reason Barricade can't come with a handgun. I mean, it's 5 cents really that big of a difference? I mean, I don't want to get into this debate again, but I do find it kind of interesting that two figures that are exclusive and that one, maybe both, you'll have to be paying a premium for to get, can come as what I would consider a complete figure. So, just food for thought. But like I said, I think it's worth a pickup. The quality is great. I'm really happy just how solid it feels in hand. So, this is your old pal Chuck for Bluestreak. We will see you next time.